humbled to want to do it, to love others, to help them out. It's about giving. That's what we're here for.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Andromeda7 Portal. Thank you so much for being up in the chat and watching the show. We appreciate that so much. I'm Crystal MacArthur. I'll be the host tonight. We have a really awesome show lined up for you guys. We have a couple of guests, Michelle Thompson and Marta. But first, we have Brian Barnett's mother. Brenda is here, and I would like for her to come on and say hi to everybody.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. Milky's mom, that's who I am. And I just wanted to say hi to everyone. And I have a thought that I would like to leave with everyone, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
The way the world is today, it says we all have opportunities every single day to help realize the natural things, order of things. So many seemingly trivial interactions between two people presents us with choice. So the two choices are, do we pass along a little spark of love and humanity, or do we pass up those opportunities and leave the world in a little bit colder in the process? So those are the two choices that we have to do, is to show the love or to not do anything. And then a wise man once said, every society is judged by how it treats its least fortunate amongst them. So in the words of my sweet son, be the frequency that you want to receive. And I truly love you, Bob.
Beautiful.
So much, Brenda.
I love you.
Wow. Thank you.
So much, beautiful.
Brenda.
Thank you
so much. Thank you.
I love you all too. And I'm just
Thank
going to
you so
stay for a few minutes. I'm going to bow out, and I love you all. You all have a great night.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, you're going to make me cry now.
Okay.
I was already got me started.
That was absolutely wonderful, because it's so true that the way we treat each other says a lot about who we are as a person. You know, they say the first will be last and the last will be first. And I believe in treating the CEO of the company as equally as I do the janitor of the company. So that is so profound. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. Sorry. Thank you so much, Brenda. We love you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. And that was a beautiful thought. Okay, so tonight we have Michelle Thompson. She is a transformationalist life coach. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Good. All right. Well, Michelle, I would like you to go ahead and, introduce yourself to everyone and let us know a little bit about yourself, and then we'll have some questions.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Thompson, and I am a transformationalist. Basically, what that is I take a person that is broken and I transform them, or it's just a person that's not exactly on their path, and, connect them with their higher self and bring them into a higher vibration. Now, that's the woo-woo words, but most of my clients are actually a little bit more secular. So they're probably not going to even understand half of what I just said. So basically, I reprogram the brain. That's where I start. Okay. So I literally take the neural pathways of the brain that are running patterns, and I get them to function in the way that's more conducive to the path that they need to be on. Once you're getting rid of all the negative thoughts and the toxic behaviors and all the things that are holding you back, then you can enter into more of a spiritual path without all the blocks and everything that's in your way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I can understand, like, it's one of those things where you can be your own worst enemy kind of thing. So it's like learning how to get out of your own way, so to speak.
Yeah, basically. Well, sort of. I mean, the bottom line is that most of the way that people act is not really their fault. It's the way that their brains are programmed. And most people don't understand. They think, oh, well, that's who I am. That's who I am. I'm like, no. That's how you were programmed. And when you get those
Yeah.
programs disconnected and you get them in alignment and you get rid of all the toxic thoughts and all the things that are holding them back, all the blocks and everything, all of a sudden they're a different person. And it's not like I say, okay, this is how I'm going to create you. No, we sit down and we talk about it. We decide what is it that you want to achieve. And then we do a whole full-on discovery program to find out what it is that's blocking them and what are the thoughts, what are the programs. And we spend quite a bit of time trying to identify what kind of programs that are running that are stopping you from, succeeding.
Yeah. Well, then I might need your email too, because I might need to contact you.
Well, you'd be surprised. Most people have problems. I mean, how I got into this was because I had the problems. And I am an absolute product of this particular program. And because I was able to do this for myself, I was like, I have to help people because it's it's just amazing. I mean, how well it works. Most people use one or two modalities and they end up bouncing back into that behavior that they used to have because they're not getting rid of the actual programs. And so those paths, it's kind of like the way I explain it, it's kind of like a rubber band. You take a rubber band, I don't have one right now, but if you take a rubber band and it's round like that and you bend it like this and you hold it there for a little while, it'll sort of like go like this real slowly and then bounce back. Okay. Now, if you take that rubber band and you hold it there for like an hour or two, okay, then it'll stay in that shape for a little while and then it slowly bounces back. But if you sit there and you hold it like that for a really long time, for a long period of time, it's almost impossible for it to go back. And that's kind of how it is.
Yes. And is your program, is it the Limitless You program?
No, that's just the Facebook group.
Oh, okay. So you do have a Facebook group. So go ahead and go over there and, sign up with that group, you guys, and get in touch with Michelle that way. And of course, we have along the screen there a way to contact her if you would like to, do some sessions with her. Shoot, I might even have to do some sessions with her, honestly.
I did.
Yeah.
I was only part of the way through my transformation. I had friends I told you about, Michelle Canham Free, and a few others that you all don't know, pulled me right out. And then I was going through it and having issues here at home. So I signed up with Michelle and started following her program and got involved in some of the beta testing for some of her other programs and went through part of that spiritual transformation with her. And it completely changed how I think about things and gave me confidence to go deeper. And remove those blocks. I just had so many blocks. And,
so I've been working one-on-one with people for a really long time, and I wanted to do like group coaching and online coaching and try a couple of different ways. I wanted to see how, what I need to do and how to get that flow right into, that kind of stuff. And Teresa was one of the ones that volunteered for that. And so, And so it was, and so I've kind of, it's not like I was just now created the program. I've had it going for 10 years. It's been a one-on-one thing, So I still work one-on-one with clients, but I have created what I call a hybrid program. So the hybrid program is you get sessions with me, but you subscribe to a membership program. So you pay a monthly fee. It's a low price. And so you pay a monthly fee, you get sessions with me, you get 12 sessions, it's a year-long membership, it's $150 a month, and 12 sessions that you can use anytime that you want. So I highly recommend that you use those 12 sessions, use at least 3 or 4 of them for the discovery part. And, but it's a step-by-step program, so it has everything. It's like, unit 1, do this, It's on my website. So, it steps you through everything and it tells you what you're going to listen to that week and what you're going to do. And then you go on to the next one after you finish that section, you go to the next section, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful that you're using yourself as a reference for all of this work because you've had to do your inner transformations and your work. So you're kind of using yourself as a guide. And you, would you say that you help people, each client intuitively as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm an empath and an energy reader as well. So I use my empathic ability to be able to kind of tune into the person so I can kind of feel what's going on. So I sort of like swish into them. And since COVID's happened, I'm doing everything online. And so it was interesting because I didn't know if I could do that, like on the computer. I was like, can I swish into them? But it's like, yeah, I just kind of like focus in on them, and as long as I'm concentrating on them, I can go right, yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you coming on and introducing yourself, and maybe you can come on again and maybe do a little workshop in the future. That would be
fun. Yeah,
that would be amazing. Yeah, that would be amazing. So does anybody have any questions for Michelle right now?
Yeah, I do. Michelle, just curious from what you said a little bit earlier, with the techniques that you started using on yourself, I suppose, on your discovery, because I've been using, I think, similar techniques on myself. Do you use like binaural beats and ASMR,
yes,
things like that in your techniques for doing it?
So
as well as like the tones and frequencies with like
I used to
beta.
Well, when I was working on myself, I used to sleep with the frequencies.
So do I.
Yeah,
I do that every night.
And I would wear headphones, and I remember one time I actually woke up and I was dizzy from.
I've been there. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah.
I sleep every night with them in these ones.
Yeah. So as far as like some of the audios that I've recorded, because I have all my hypnosis audios recorded. So all the audios that I have recorded, they have a layer of frequencies that are actually, I own like over 100 different frequencies. So I just kind of layer it in there and kind of put it in like the undertones where you can barely hear it on top. Yeah. And then music's kind of layered on top.
That's the best place for it to be, isn't it? So the subconscious picks it up rather than the actual ear.
Right. And I choose a frequency that is, in alignment with whatever it is that we're working on, or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, depending on what area and entrainment you want to produce, you use the different frequencies then, don't you?
Right. Yeah.
So that's
awesome. I was just curious of the methods and techniques you used. That was all. So
yeah, did you want to know about some of the other techniques I use, or are you just asking about that one?
Yeah, we have tons.
Yes,
oh yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so I use NLP a lot, and conversational hypnosis, and cognitive therapy. Those are the ones that I use the most. Most people don't even realize it because I spent so much time learning NLP, and it's so obvious. If anybody takes a class on NLP, it's so obvious. You can you're using NLP on me. Don't do that. You can see it like right as it's coming towards you. So I worked with a coach one-on-one, and I said, you have got to teach me a way to do this where nobody knows I'm doing it. And so what I found is that I use a lot of humor sometimes, and I do a lot of inflections in my voice, and I get really loud sometimes when I'm trying to, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Like that. And I'll just like do this, and then I slide the information in real quick. And then all of a sudden I'll say, okay, here's what I need you to do. I need you to, do this, visualize this, or something like that. And then I do like embedded storytelling. That's a pretty powerful one. I don't know if you know what that means, but it's kind of like you tell a story and then you slide another story that's embedded, and then you pick back up on the other story. And that is the message that you're trying to like embed into their subconscious mind. Yeah.
Jules is shaking her head like Jules knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's pyramid building. That's another technique. And I use a lot of like alchemy type I call it alchemizing others. Like I teach people how to alchemize other people so they can they can kind of limit the toxicity in their life. And that's actually people's favorite thing. I mean, that's like, you're like, oh, thank God I need to deal with this. How do I get rid of these negative people? Or how do I get them to stop being so negative? Or how do I, handle this in this situation? And it really makes a difference when you're you're able to, that is kind of part of the program, is to learn how to alchemize yourself.
Yeah.
And then how to alchemize your emotions, and then how to alchemize other people. So
I had to really use this when I was living with my
It's
mother-in-law.
not easy either, because I had a really hard time with that exercise.
it takes some practice.
Trina,
gosh.
Yeah.
I wanted
All
to
about
ask
how you perceive
Trina
it.
I just wanted to ask Trina if she was familiar with some of that. Sounds like some of the stuff that Trina, maybe if I'm wrong, Trina, have you worked with stuff like that before?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And it's one of the most powerful tools to transition. It truly is. I don't do a lot of NLP because my focus is having it's just a different approach. I make you unlock it yourself. So I don't do any programming. I let you program yourself. So if you want to program it, I'll give you, like, you'll give me the words, and then I'll say, okay, you said you wanted to do this, 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 and this. How would you do that? And then they'll put the program in. So that's the only kind of difference between the way that it seems that we do a lot of the same. It sounds like we do a lot of the same work. But NLP is profound, and it works, and it is extremely potent and powerful. So yes, one of my best friends, she's a master.
So in the
NLP
very beginning part,
So,
in the discovery section, when we're working on this, it can take up to a month to work on it. We're literally like identifying every single thought. We go through different subjects, and I make them journal on it, and then they have to like line out every thought. Like, what are these negative thoughts you have? We sit down and we spend sometimes over an hour just on 2 or 3 thoughts. And we're talking about it, and I'm asking them questions, which similar to what you're talking about. Like, they'll say, I'm not good enough. And I'll go, what's enough? And so we'll like,
right. What does that look like?
What
right.
That, yeah.
Right.
And then I'll explain to them that there's never, they can't answer that question, because there's never, it's an ever growing thing. You're always growing. So there's no way, as soon as you reach that level, you're going to strive for more and more. And there's always going to be somebody above you. There's always going to be somebody below you. There's always going to be somebody better. And as you, so you're never going to be enough. You've got to like, so that's a bad thing to say to yourself. And so then I tell them, I say, okay, so let's just take enough out, and I'll like do it virtually, and I'll scratch out like the enough, and I'll say, I'm not good. And I'm like, so are you lying to yourself? You're saying you're not good? And they're like, no, I'm good. And I go, well, tell me some of the things you're good at. And so we start working on reframing their thoughts. And that's like the first thing that we do. And a lot of it is them, and they don't know how to think. Most people don't know how to think. So when I ask them to tell me how to reframe it, they have no clue. They'll come up with something like, I won't do this anymore. And I'm like, no.
So I found that along my journey, when I'm learning that kind of stuff, it just seems like when I've realized my worth, it's not like the tests stop coming. It seems like there's more tests keep coming. Do you just to reassure that, you're standing and you're knowing and believing that you're worthy of, this life and so I still get tested on that. So I don't think those tests. So you got to be what is it, the fortitude to withstand the continual testing of your of your self-worth will come.
That's such a valid point that you said, because there was a point where I had to, even though I was doing this for a living, I had to address my ego. That was like my next test, because I started thinking, oh, I fixed all this, I'm so great,
So I have a question.
The universe hands you your butt. Boom.
Yeah.
That's right.
Let me tell you how good you are. Okay. Yeah. Let's go with a situation that, let's see how you handle that.
So let me ask, Kelly, have you experienced things about your self-worth in your life where you've had to overcome or make those realizations?
Oh, constantly. I mean, that's a always evolving thing, especially when you have the outside external things constantly coming at you too. So that's tremendous. Yeah, it's a. I think everybody has to deal with that. That's a normal
I
part.
think it is too. When you're really,
You know.
I think a lot of empaths have a lot of that in common of, first in our journey, we're doubting our self-worth, and then we start to realize our self-worth. But even at that point, we're still continually tested a little bit from the external, do you really know your self-worth? Lori, have you experienced anything like that?
Well, I can tell you one of the first things that I started to do, and I pretty much went through this process alone with the help of my guide, Eric, which I guess I technically wasn't alone, but I had a lot of help from spirit. And the first thing that I did was I learned how to have gratitude for absolutely everything I was doing, everything I had. Kind of like, how Wayne Steiger talks about favor. I'd go around and I'd like hug my car in the garage and I'd tell my car how much I love my car. And I'd grab the walls in my home and I'd be like, I just love you. Thank you for taking, keeping a roof over my head and keeping me warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And everything, I just saw gratitude in absolutely everything. And that really helped me shift my thinking. Instead of thinking negative thoughts, I was more into the gratitude. What am I grateful for and how am I grateful? And that helped me a lot. Yeah. A lot.
Jules, so what's been your experience about self-worth? Jules, can Jules hear me?
There she is.
There she is.
Time delay in Australia.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Okay, everything's a gift. Everything's a gift. And I would just go, what's right about the situation, not what's wrong about the situation. What's right about this that you don't get yet?
Yes.
That's flipping it. Instead of saying what's wrong, what's right about it that you don't get yet. That's how I've done all morning. I'd go, okay, about this don't get yet. And then by staying in that question, the answer arrives. And the answer isn't always the way you might think it'll turn up. And that's why you've got to be open to being that gyroscope and seeing every angle of the situation. So that's how I got out of it, was just going, okay, what's right about this?
Yeah. Great technique.
That's how I did it.
So David,
on my own, I didn't go to anybody.
Yeah, you did it internally. Yeah. So David, have you had those experiences about self-worth?
No, to be honest, I came from a really loving, supporting family. My mum, all she ever did was big me up and just say, you can be anything you want to be, you can achieve anything. So I kind of grew up seeing the positives in the negative. There's always that silver lining.
That is so awesome.
I'm quite fortunate.
That's awesome. That's incredible. That would have been helpful to be raised, in a house where it's like you're celebrated and you're encouraged to realize, that you're good. You don't have to question that. But I think a lot of people struggle with that because hurting people hurt people. And that goes down in the generations, So, okay, that's really, really interesting. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. Are you going to stay on for the rest of the show?
Yeah. If you
Awesome. We'd love to have you. Fantastic.
Awesome.
So, did anyone see if anyone had any questions in the chat? And by the way, you guys, I wanted to give a shout out to all of you guys. Truth Seekers in the house, Lost in Space, Grandpa Brian, and Kaz Hawk. I thought you went to bed. Deborah Sloan. Hi, Deborah. And David Castle. And Big Al's in the chat. Big Al.
Thank you, Chloe.
He's driving right now, so he couldn't join us. So he wanted to let you know he's on the road and behind the big wheel.
Yeah, that's good. We invoke your safety, Big Al. I love you. And then we also have Deborah Trudeau. And let's see. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's see. Mary Wins. Mary Wins. Hi, Mary. All right, you guys. Now, let's see. Michelle Canham Freeze in the house. Tania Rose. Hi. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We appreciate you so much. And I think that, and Celtic Warrior. Hey, honey. Steve. Sleuth for Truth. Hey, brother.
Hi, Nina.
What's up? All right, you guys. Yep. I think I got everybody so far. Does anybody? Oh, and Nina. And does anybody have any questions that we see in the chat? Anybody see any questions so far?
Not so far,
Nope.
guys. Not so far.
Okay. All right. Well, then we are going to move on to the next part of our program tonight. Marta. Oh, someone just popped in. Joe Sapiens. Hey, hi. You're late, but you're here. Thank you. So the next part of our show, we'd like to introduce you guys to Marta from Deep Thoughts Here and Now. So make sure you go over to her channel, subscribe. Make sure you go to Michelle Thompson's YouTube and subscribe, because I did. And then go over to Marta's Deep Thoughts Here and Now. She's got a couple really deep videos, which we're about to share. And I think it would be really, really important messages that she brought up in those videos. So let's see. Lori, do you want to go ahead and do that video for us, please?
You betcha. I'm going to go ahead and screen share here. And I'll pull this video right up for you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, it's been a while since I was on Andromeda7 Portal's YouTube channel. I've been really busy working, so I've been running around like a chicken without a head. So just bear with me. It's been really crazy lately. I've just been feeling run down, so I had to do a little bit of self-care for myself as well, because I learned that along my journey, it's very important to slow the hell down and just to listen to your body. When your body is telling you to lay down and sleep and rest, well, you got to do that, because guess what? If you don't, then that's when you get sick, you start getting headaches, migraines, and eventually it's going to lead you down a path of, lead you down to a path where you'll even have a nervous breakdown or something like that. So, I mean, just going through this journey has taught me a lot about myself and what I used to do to myself back in the days when I had anxiety all the time, panic attacks almost on a daily. I was just doing too much. I would go to work. After work, I would go straight to the gym. After the gym, I would go, grocery shopping, cook some food, then eat at like freaking 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, because I've been running around all day. And then, spending time with my son and whatnot. But it was just every day I would find myself something to do. Just run around. And I learned to really slow down during these times. And this spiritual awakening journey has really put me on my ass, literally, let me tell you, has just thrown me right on my ass, where I had to face myself completely in my own darkness. And it was darkness, because this is really embarrassing. I spent 3 years of my life like in bed, 3 or more years to, spend by myself and with the covers over my head, literally, just not wanting to be around anyone, going through really big dark nights of the soul. I don't know how many I've had, but since I was a kid, let me tell you, it's been probably more than 300 of them. So when people say 1 dark night of the soul or 2, nope. As I go back and I view my whole life, I've been going through the spiritual awakening process in little bits by bits throughout my whole life. There's been, things that I've experienced, which I won't even go into now. But I've always been kind of like the loner black sheep. I got bullied as a kid, never could understand why, didn't really want to hang out with a lot of people, even though yet I still craved to be social when I was a teenager. I used to want to be, in the scene with my friends, to be out there. But as soon as, I was, far away from home, I would get really bad panic attacks. And I used to hate to be in crowds when we were watching the fireworks or whatnot. I wanted to run home, and I never understood why I had all this energy like just racing in my heart. had heart palpitations all the time, and I felt like just I was gonna die. You know, that feeling of panic attack, terror. To just feel that all the time, it was not good. But back then I couldn't put my finger on it. Now that I look back, I could connect the dots and say, you know, I was feeding off everyone's energy. You know, it wasn't necessarily my energy. But back then, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, I just thought I was a basket case. And I was too scared to even go to the doctors because I was scared the doctor was going to tell me that I was dying, that I had some like horrific disease or something. So, you know, it calmed me down a little bit when I went to college and I learned about anxiety disorders. And I thought to myself, bingo, I have this, you know, where I feel like I'm being literally pushed out of a plane every single day. But never about spiritual awakening or Kundalini or anything like that. I mean, come on, in the early 90s, who the hell knew what the hell that was? We were still very early into the internet age. Nobody really spoke about this kind of stuff. But yeah, I was going through symptoms, depersonalization. Like, a lot of times I felt like I was out of my body, like I was in some sort of like parallel universe. You know, I don't really want to go into depth now about the past, but now I start to understand why, you know, everything makes sense. It's not an easy ride, this spiritual awakening journey. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. It's not for the faint-hearted. It's heavy-duty internal work. And you're left with being stripped. And you're left in the darkness with yourself, because eventually everyone ends up leaving you one way or the other. And you have to face your own demons head on. You know, all the things that you were afraid of way back when. In the spiritual awakening journey, it makes you face every single one of those fears head on. Like, everything that you could almost pretty much imagine that you were fearful of actually ends up happening, so that you get to stand in your own power. And even though you're shaken like shit in your shoes, you get to learn to stand, you know, solid like the tree that has its roots, that has the foundation. You get to see that you've overcome so many things, and every little hurdle that you overcome more and more and more and more, you get to look back and say, my God, you know, I did it. And if I went through that, then I can go through the next step. If I can go through the next step, I can even go forward even further. So, I mean, after every single step, even though, you know, you just had no more ass left to be kicked, literally, you've become so much stronger. And now I can honestly say I've come home to myself. Like the last YouTube video that I did, I spoke about coming home to yourself, because through it all you have is yourself. All you have is yourself at the end of the day. No one can hold your hand, really, and know the crevices of your mind, what you think of. You know, what are your deepest thoughts at the time? What are your deepest sorrows? No one can feel that but you. You know, even if you're surrounded by family and friends and you're dying, you're going through that process yourself. So you have to learn to uphold yourself. You have to learn to become your own cheerleader in life. That's what you have to do. And coming home to yourself and finding yourself again, you realize finally that you got lost in the sauce. Your whole life you were trying to, you know, chase after people. You were trying to make everyone else happy, that you lost yourself through the whole, you know, the spiritual awakening in the beginning stages. You think everyone has left you, but at the, you know, when you're in the thick of it, you start learning that no, the real one that you've abandoned was yourself along the way. You've abandoned yourself by your job. You've abandoned yourself by being just, you know, intermeshed with your friends and family, and not really focusing anything on what you want to do. Like, do you really want to be here? Do you really want to spend this time with this person? Or are you just doing it out of habit to not feel and be alone? You know, you start to question what you really want in life and what you're really doing this for. You know, I used to, later on when I was with my friends, you know, some of them were I just met up with them, after the fact, or when I was doing a little bit better. I thought to myself, it's just small talk. Like, we're not really discussing anything here. And I finally realized that this friendship was just so, fake and phony that, in all honesty, I never really liked this person in the first place. So, I mean, you come to your own truths at the end of it. And the more you hold on, the more you take care of yourself along the way. And, you just pat yourself on the back for every accomplishment. You move forward and forward, little by little. You make little tiny steps. So basically, from 2015 to 2018 was really, really rough for me because I lost my job. I used to work 8+ years in the mental health addictions field with people that were suffering from co-occurring disorders, which, they had a drug addiction issue, and they were suffering maybe from like schizophrenia or some other mental health issue, bipolar, things like that. So, I mean, working with people like this on a daily basis and dealing with their traumas is one thing, which I've grown accustomed to. I got used to it, and these people were becoming, to be like my family. But to get it from upper management to the point where the old management leaves and the new management that comes in starts to bully and harass all the old workers and micromanage them, and you're dealing with like office politics, and it's becoming a toxic work environment. Like, all my coworkers started leaving the scene, and I was the one that was left over at the very end with the supervisor. So I didn't want to be stuck with that guy, having him hound me and harass me all the time. So I thought to myself, you know what, this isn't worth it. At the very end, I was so stressed out. I was almost going to, take him to court, to take it down that road. But at that time, I went to see a therapist. My good friend convinced me to see a therapist because I was losing it. I had such bad panic attacks when, before I left that my work site. They were so bad that I literally thought I was going to have like a heart attack. So I had to be put on medication because I was just shaking so much because I didn't really want to leave. Like, it wasn't if everything went normal and I still had the same, supervisor, if shit didn't hit the fan, I would have probably still like been in that job. But I had to have that kick in the ass for me to go through this process, and just became so entangled with my worry and this darkness of not having a job, the security being like taken away from you, that I spent literally like 3 years in bed. I didn't give a shit, a rat's ass about my relationship anymore, which was falling apart anyhow. I was just focused on my mental state at that point, and my significant other, I guess, just booted because I wasn't really focused on anything to do with relationship. I was focusing on myself, and I was the one that needed help at that time. It was so hard for me to even, clean up the house, do anything. I just became so paralyzed. And I remember taking a shower was, it took all the energy from me just to take a shower. Some days were like that. Some days were so, so dark that I didn't have any energy to do anything. And I was like, I was always, tidying up. I wasn't like spick and span clean, but, my house was always tidied up to like seriously having like my house upside down to the point where I was thinking, shit, I just turned in from a worker to a client. Like, my house is starting to look like one of those, one of the residents that I was working for. Like, holy crap. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I didn't have any energy to do nothing. And everything fell apart like dominoes, one by one by one. My job, I thought to myself, I could get a job anytime in this field. Yeah, right. When I started looking for a job, nobody wanted to hire me, even with my background and experience. I was thinking, what the hell is going on here? It was just like one thing falling apart, then the next thing, then the next thing. I went back to school. I retrained. I took another program in rehabilitation, disability management. But then I tried looking for a job after. Nobody wanted to hire me because they said I didn't have enough experience in the field. And on top of it, I had to be certified. I had to have a certification that I, completed such and such. And, you know, would have like something by my name that I was certified and to be a disability and disability management. Basically, you have to finish this course, not a course, but you have to finish like you have to have a test to give you that certification, you know, that you've been certified in rehabilitation and disability management, right? So that's like by your name that you're part of the department and blah, 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 blah. And in order for me to complete that, I had to study, you know, this like huge book. And, you know, the more that I started looking into this, really, at the end of my course, I started to think, well, I don't want to work for a freaking insurance company and keep saving the company money when I'm not really dealing with clients one-on-one. And what I really want to do is deal with clients rather than paperwork and trying to just only focus on saving money, you know, for the company. And so, yeah, that was pretty much where it was. And so I gave up on that. Then I went back into depression. I just kept on searching for things that could give me structure in my day, because if I didn't have a organized day, I would spend all day in bed and then get up at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like my life just went completely down to smithereens. And finally, I joined a meditation group where we were doing Qigong, meditation, Reiki. I learned all that. I took a Reiki course, and that really like got me out of that funk. And if it wasn't for that meditation group, I don't know where I would be today, because we used to go for walks. We used to take our crystals and charge them in the lake. We used to do all the like Qigong movements, and slowly but surely I learned how to do it one by one. And that was the only thing that helped me, that helped my mind to slow down and prevented my brain from attacking itself all day. If you attack yourself all day in your mind mentally, no wonder you have anxiety. And meditation and Qigong makes you slow down your thoughts to the point of where you're looking from the outside, looking in, thinking, holy shit, I abuse myself this much. No wonder I'm in a dark place. So truly, meditation and this going within, doing energy work and Qigong really, really helped me out of that hole. And asking for help when I joined that meditation group, I was, you know, shaking in my boots, asking to join them. But they welcomed me with open arms, just how this soul tribe welcomed me with open arms. And I will be forever grateful that I've met you guys. I met you guys, first and foremost, through our Wayne Steiger's YouTube channel. And then Brian's Milky Way. And I went into the chat rooms. I started talking when our Wayne Steiger went live on his videos. And I started connecting with you guys. And one thing led to the next. And I started meeting really awesome people. And yeah, I mean, you got to talk about what you've went through in your story, even if it's shitty, even if it's embarrassing, even if you feel like, oh my God, nobody else has gone through it. I'm sure as hell somebody out there has gone through the same thing. And you may even, you know, help someone or even save their life, or, you know, they feel more stronger that they can, you know, themselves go on with their life and find, you know, the light. And I'm not 100% there, but let me tell you, since 2015, I've come a long way. I've got rid of people, places, and things that were holding me back that I didn't realize during that time, that they were basically a hindrance in my life from growing into myself. So this is where I am at now. I feel so free that, you know, I can do anything. And I'm here to basically serve others. Bosto is what I want to truly live out to its fullest extent. When you help other people, you forget about your own problems. And this is just a beautiful thing. So I thank you all for allowing me to be here and to talk about my experience. I love you all, and I look forward to future Fridays with you guys. Take care.
Oh, Marta, that was awesome, honey. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's very, very relatable. I would say almost check to all of that I've experienced to some degree or another. Would anyone else like to give their thoughts about what she was speaking of?
I think that was just a beautiful expression of life, of the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the hard, the beautiful.
Yeah.
Very well done.
I know, I
And in a
enjoyed that a
beautiful
lot.
setting,
Yeah.
I might add. Boy,
Did anybody see the sign that says
Yeah.
no dogs on the
Beautiful.
grass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where else are they supposed to go?
Mhm.
They have a little
You
zip
know what?
line for the dog.
You know what I found profound about what she was talking about? It's kind of like we're all kind of in the same resonance with this. It's keys. It's how we find our keys to heal. And there's many keys, many locks, many tools. But this is what this is for. This is for all of us to look at all the different ways, the different people, the different protocols, the different modalities, so you can find your keys.
So, David, let me ask you, what has been some of the keys for you, or when you've, realized you needed to do some of that, energy work for yourself? What has been your experience?
I don't know, to be honest. It's a tricky one. I kind of mirrored Marta's story, to be honest.
Yes.
Just the same, similar background, everything. As I was first time I heard it, I was like, yep. I could tick like you every box on there.
Yeah.
The same with the job, everything is all in there.
Yeah.
Up to where I am now, where I'm learning everything's on the inside. You got to change everything on the inside to change the outside. So I think we're at the same we're at the same point in time, with the same progress.
Yeah.
You get tired of that programming. You get tired of feeling that
well,
way,
I've
and
been
you're
through years of
done. You want
reprogramming.
You got to have the contrast.
Yeah, it seems to be a popular theme, though, in the 3D, survivalists of the fittest and the, big corporations, or even I've noticed in the small mom and pop operations, they were adopting those big, concepts, and it was not pleasant at all. So, Jules, have you had any experience with things like Marta was, talking about? There's a lag
in Australia. She has to turn her microphone back on too.
Oh, yeah.
Here she goes. Off and on.
Yeah.
There I go. There I go. Yeah, I've had situation. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had a couple of situations when I was running my business and building my new home back in 1996. I had my first crash and burn, and then in 2008 it was 6 months of going through stuff, and it was just looking at it from a different angle. That's what pulled me out of it, from just looking at it from, instead of the one that I perceived was the truth, someone gave me a different angle, and that's how I started looking at everything from different angles. So being the gyroscope and just looking at it from this angle instead of the one. So like however many angles we're looking at, I could turn my laptop around and you'd have a different angle, wouldn't you? You wouldn't be seeing me, you'd be seeing all the trees that I'm looking at. So I relate everything to nature. Go on a limb. Your roots, everything's to do with nature. So if you connect back with nature, she'll show you the way.
Agreed. And Michelle, when did you realize that you were, what was your catalyst for transformation?
Oh boy. Wow. That's a long
Big
story.
question.
That's a long story.
A loaded question.
Yeah, it's a really loaded question, because I suffered from depression that was so extreme. My story is very much in alignment with hers. I was like thinking, oh my God, I relate to this. I remember being that person. It's such a weird thing though, like when you change and you reflect back and you remember the person, you just don't relate. Like it's a weird feeling. It's like
It's almost like it was somebody else.
Yeah. Like
you
I'm
really
a
are.
walk-in or something. It's like it's like it's in the brain and it's there. There's a memory of it, but it's like yeah. But wow, I really identified with it because I really had a lot of dark. I mean, my whole life I was depressed. I mean, it was heavy depression. I mean, heavy.
Yeah, empaths struggle so much
Well,
with.
and that's what I realized. I didn't know that that's what it was. I couldn't be in large groups, and I was picking up on everybody else's feelings, and I thought they were mine. So I was, and I was like, nobody understands me, nobody gets me, no, and I was like, I was constantly crying and isolating, and it's just, I would have these meltdowns where I would just go into these emotional fits. And yeah, I mean, it was terrible. I mean, it was really bad. So how did I transform, or when did I recognize? Well, I'd always been on a spiritual path. Ever since I can remember, like my awakening started I'm 54. So I started that stuff way before anybody else, like before it was popular,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like in my 20s. So I was like the oddball out. It was like, Michelle, you're weird. Michelle, you're strange. Michelle, you're a witch, all that stuff. The devil's possessing you, all that. You're over there like shaking your head, Trina, like, yes, 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 right? And every single religious fanatic would seem to follow me like I was magnetizing them, they would find me, and I would try to sit like a little mouse in a corner, and they would seem to find me like, oh, there she is. Let's go tap the witch, Yep.
I still resonate with that. So resonate with that. And then starting like 30 years ago, and people are looking at you like, what?
Okay,
they don't get it. Yeah, they don't get it at all. And you're like,
it's like super popular to like be woke and awakened. Yeah. And hey, I'm woke,
Yeah.
Like right now
they're
it's
like meditation. What's that? They're like, isn't that for witches? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Yoga?
I know. Yeah, like when some of the famous preachers that are like really big started talking about meditation, I was like, yes, Yeah. But you were asking like what was the key thing? For me, it was it was a person that I asked for to come into my life. I specifically asked. I got tired of dealing with angels saying, oh, in time and all this other crap. And I got tired of their bullshit, like, oh, you're loved and la la la, and we're here and we love you and la la la, and it all, all in time and da da da. And I just got tired of that. And I was very, very impatient at the time. And so I hadn't mastered that yet. So I basically asked for a teacher, and I asked for a teacher that was enlightened. Like I wanted somebody, like I basically gave God very specific instructions. Like
I like it that way.
I want either a saint or a Jesus or an angel or a or a Buddha or something. Like I want, like you go and find whoever one here on earth, and that's the one I want, right? And if there's not anybody here, go drop him in a body. You do walk this all the time. So
Trina, go ahead, Michelle.
6 months later, I met him, and
Oh my God.
And that started the whole thing.
Which brings up the importance of being specific and not generalized, because if you say, oh, I want something, it'll be in a way that it won't be pleasant. So you have to be pretty specific about
what you need and want from the universe.
And let me tell you something. I was a horrible student because I was so messed up. I mean, it was more like, but you don't understand. Yeah, but I was horrible. I tell when people start telling me that, they think they're horrible, I'm like, you're nothing like me. I was the worst. I still feel like I still every so often text him and go, I'm so sorry. I love you so much. I'm so grateful. And it's like it took me a long time to get there, because I was so stubborn and I couldn't get it. And I was so like narrow minded. I thought I was open minded, but I wasn't. I was very like, I could only see a perspective like this, you know?
I'm like that with my mom. I call her sometimes and I just say I'm sorry because as I've grown more mature, I realize how wise her teachings really were. So I'm sorry I did that to you. Put you through that, you know. But it's all good now. It's all good. We're like two peas in a pod now. So
You know what's interesting is because after going through all of this and changing so much, the now I don't judge people at all. Like, you know, if I see somebody that's on lockdown and they're like this, I mean, my heart just bleeds for them because I understand.
Yeah,
you know what I
me
mean?
too.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not like, oh, you just need to change your perspective, you know, like that, or kind of like cocky. I'm like, I get it. I understand.
Yeah, I was frozen a couple of times. I've gone through those freeze moments where you just freeze your life. I went 2 years with very struggling very much to be in the public, and you know, I've been through a lot of emotional turmoil at that point in my life, and I went on lockdown. I had a young son to take care of, so that was very, very challenging. Trina, I was going to ask you, you know, what's been some of your what are some of your thoughts about what Marta was speaking of?
It's just like I said, it's true. Everybody's journey. It seems like almost the more pain you're in is the more profound your recovery will be if you can get through it. You know, so it's like it's almost like the ones that are diving super, super deep are the ones that fly and soar with the angels. So those of you who are in the ditches and just trying to climb out, don't stop. Just don't stop. Yeah, don't give up because you're going to be so proud of yourself later. The more I'm looking at all of our lives and our journeys, it's like, what's it all for, you know? And it keeps coming back to, it's all for you.
Yeah.
And we
Teresa,
lose
go
that.
ahead,
We
hon.
forget that.
Yes.
Yeah, we have, and this is what I was asking last week. This is great for both you and Michelle here, Crystal. Lucky Stone is in the house. How do I do this? How do I do this? Every road is different. How do I do this? I can only tell you how I got here. It isn't working for me.
Okay, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So what you need to do is, first off, you need to just listen to your intuition, okay? And you need to follow, you need to like let your inner self tell you where to go, because each one of us does it a little bit different. You know, I do full on transformation. I start from the bottom up, and you know, I mean, I don't just start at a middle point. I mean, it's like you know, it's a process, and it's a long process. So everybody's different. I have a friend, Trisha Gelder. She's a numerologist, and she did a lot of like tapping and stuff. And her transformation was really profound. She did a lot of work with that, and she did really well with that. Everybody does things differently, and you've just got to kind of like listen to what's here that tells you where to go, or who do you feel drawn to. Like if you feel like you're drawn to Trina or you know, Crystal or whoever, you know, then you need to like lean into that person and let them help you.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
Trust your guts.
Trust your
Great
gut.
advice.
Trust your gut and mind coming together, you know. Yeah.
It was still a good question, Lucky. He says I wasn't asking for much.
Yes.
It's still a great question though, because a lot of people have it.
Yeah.
And I noticed somebody had mentioned that we all, I think that was Joe Sapien, said that, you know, it seems like we all have a lot in common. It seems like we've gravitated together because of our common backgrounds and our common past. Even though they've been different, each one, of course, is unique. It still seems to have, you know, kind of congealed us together into this beautiful family, you know, into a beautiful group of people. And I wouldn't want it any other way. And I couldn't foresee all of this coming together like this. This was definitely divinely orchestrated for sure.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Firmly believe that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that was so awesome. Again, Marta, thank you so much for giving us that video, hun. And we can't wait to have you on again soon and have you actually on the show. That would be great. So let's get on to our next thing. We're going to do Nina the Mystic. Go ahead, Lori.
You betcha. Let me cue this up and get right on it.
Hi everyone, Nina the Mystic here. I hope you guys are enjoying the show with the Andromeda7 panel. It's always a good time and always some good information to be had here. So my job is to pull some cards for the energy for the group, okay? So this is going to be sort of an overall energy message, I guess, for everyone in this community, okay? Now, before I get going on that, if you're wondering about me, where to get a hold of me, I'm sure they'll have some links down there. The best way is through my web page. Just go under the contact form there, fill that out, and it goes straight into my email, okay? Or if you are on Facebook, you can always get a hold of me there. Just PM me on, the Mystic page, and I will get back to you shortly, okay? So sit back, relax, and hopefully this resonates. Give me some feedback if it does, and we'll go from there. So I pulled 2 cards today. I have one through, it's called Star Seeds. Starseed deck there, the Starseed Oracle. And I got the Star Ancestor card. It's kind of funny because I just finished doing the Steiger show and the Ancestor card came up there as well. Now I'm going to read from the book here. It's a little bit lengthy, but I think it'll be worth it. So it says the ancestors knew much more than we know about our connection with the stars. Their pyramids, temples, and other places of worship created in precise alignment with the stars exist in corners of the world. What if the ancient wisdom is available for you to uncover now? You're being called to think and listen with your ancient heart and soul, to tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knows blooms in your heart. All potent power pumps through your veins. You are being invited to step into your ancient knowingness, to be held by the remembering of the star ancestors. To look a little deeper, if you're feeling stuck, you're being called to do something different, to change your point of view. Creativity happens when we put together 2 things that don't belong. When we do the unexpected, so often a creative solution is right in front of us. But because we think the same thoughts and act the same way, we miss what is open. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions, technology and wisdom that is so needed on the planet right now. To unlock your soul's memories of a time when we lived in harmony on Earth, and on the day one day will again. So that's the star seed message for you guys. I'll just show you the card quickly again here.
Ooh.
I love the color.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I like the cards.
Cool. Yeah.
Into what we already know. So it's funny how we talk about intuition and stuff like that. We all have sort of a knowing about us. So they're saying to tap into that. Okay. You can call it intuition. You can call it imprinted in your DNA from our ancestors. That could be. But to tap into that. Okay. Then a message from the spirits, which of course yes I do. I'm using this deck here from John Holland, message from the spirits. And you got breathe.
Nice.
So it says here, the breath is the vital bridge between your body and soul. It's the connection between the inside and outside, connecting you to the universe, spirit and the divine source. As the universe, spirit, and divine source. The breath permeates your entire being with prana, which is the same life-giving force that nourishes everything in the universe. Okay, So step back and just take a deep breath, okay, to relax and tap in again to the universe, prana, whatever you want to call it, okay, your ancestral DNA, remembrance, your inner knowing, okay. So just the overall energy I'm getting, yeah, just sit back and relax, okay, and take a breath, take a moment and meditate. That would be my utmost recommendation, to remember your ancestral memories or DNA, whatever you want to call it, okay. And whoops, yeah, so that is what I have for the Andromeda 7 for this week, okay. I hope you guys enjoy the show, and I look forward to a reading for you in the future. All right, thanks everybody.
Nina is on point. Oh my goodness. Just breathing in that good prana, like Ralph Smart says. Everybody just do that. Let's take a deep breath.
Yep.
We got Mandy
so
here,
good.
guys.
Mandy,
Mandy.
Hi, Mandy.
Oh my gosh, Mandy, thank you so much for popping in. That's such a wonderful surprise. So thank you so much, honey, for coming. Oh, that's so cool. Jules, do you have a
So happy.
That's a surprise.
I got Jules and Mandy together.
Hey, Jules, that's a perfect moment for your poem tonight. Oh, that is so cute. Oh my goodness.
That's a surprise. That's all. That's what's happening today. All I want to say is primordial, elementary, but element and airy, because airy is the holder of anything. When you have airy on the end of the word, it's the holder. So primordial means primer, the prime, which is first, and then ordinary, or not ordinary, but order. I'm all. The element of the holder is the what's on. Elementary, dear, what's on. So your what's are now on. So you're turned on and ready to go, guys, because we are the first. Primordial. We're it.
Nice.
We are it. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So let's get to work, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jules. I appreciate you so much.
Robert just said it's a twosome. How nice.
That's so
Mandy wants to.
I left about 2.5 hours ago and I hit 5 accidents on the way to get here. It's like almost everything was stopping me from getting here, but I just pushed through and just to the end of the show. But
because I said, you'll get here, don't worry, you'll get here. And she did. Right at the end of the show.
That's why I said don't give up.
Never give up. Ever. Never
give up.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Mandy. You're amazing. Look at you popping in the show just in time and all in, safe, of course.
Two
So that's
Aussies.
Yeah.
We've got even now the Aussie aspects, just all you American chicks and Welsh guys. And
It makes me so happy to see my two favorite Australians side by side.
Yes,
I'm just bursting with joy.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I just have a few last announcements before we wrap it up. We have a Soul Tribe member. Of course, you might know her. Her name is Cajun Queen Tarot. So we've got some information with her. If you want to email or PayPal her, she has a food bank that she runs. So if you want to donate, especially around the holiday, well, any day is a good day to donate to her food bank.
Hungry people.
Yeah, people in need right now, especially in these weird, crazy times. So just go over to Cajun Queen Tarot, and her information is right there on the bottom. And just just give what you can. Even a little bit is helpful. Even if it was $5 and everybody pitched in, could you imagine how much we could do for her food pantry?
Absolutely.
So yeah, let's pull
Yeah.
together and see what we can do for her. And I'm sure she would be like so overjoyed for that. All right. And we also next week we'll have some surprise guests along with our show to discuss the current events. So we'll have some surprise guests on our panel. So please stay tuned for that. And we also have a holiday show lineup for December 11th, December 18th. Now, we're going to do the 21st alignment on the 20th, so we can keep in consideration of our Australian friends and everyone on that side of the planet. So December 20th, we're going to do our mass meditation for the grand jump, whatever you
Kelly's
call that.
birthday. Kelly's birthday is December 20th, so she's going to be celebrating that. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have to make that awesome.
Powerful birthday.
I got my Sagittarius Martha, my Sagittarius.
Yeah, I got mine.
Necklace on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Thank you, Marsha.
Nice. And then December 28th, we'll have our holiday special. It'll be a little bit, give us a break in between the crazy holidays, come back. And so we'll see you guys again then. So we appreciate you guys coming in the chat. Thank you so much. Kaz is in there. Barry, Chad, Deborah Sloan, Kaz Hawk. Thank you so much, everybody. We love you so much, and please stay tuned for the outro because we have some information. If you would like to get in touch with Michelle Thompson for any of her services, please give her, an email and contact her, and find her over on Facebook with the Limitless You group, and she would certainly appreciate it. And again, we will have her on in the future. We'll let you guys know very soon. Maybe do some workshops with her if she would like to do that with us.
Absolutely,
So
my pleasure.
Awesome. Yay.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would be so incredible. All right. And thank you, Marta. I know you're not here with us, but you're here with us in spirit. We appreciated you opening up and being vulnerable and sharing your story with us and your experience.
That was excellent. Yep.
It really was so relatable. And we
Yeah.
appreciate that. And Brenda, thank you so much for coming on today. And we love you so much, Mama.
Thank you,
Oh,
Brenda.
Can I ask for one thing really quickly?
Yeah.
Can I ask Lori to share Brian's message about our soul tribe?
Yes. Yes.
Just a little bit, Lori. Not the whole
Yeah.
thing, but just just what you wanted to share, what Eric and Brian wanted to say to us. I think it's important.
That'd be lovely.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Got a message from Brian today, guys. So
Yeah, and that
share a
was
little bit
kind of a personal message for Brenda, and I gave that to her. But he did want me to say, I'm so happy you are part of this group. I'm pleased you stuck with it. I know Al has a big heart. He lets his ego run amok. Never let ego dictate your thoughts. I'm so happy you are all doing this. I know this group was so very special. I love this powerful energy. It's electrifying to witness. I also know how hard you have been working on this. It's so cool you have the time and resource for this. I know your story well. I'm such a big fan. Let's see. I'm so pleased with what all of you are doing, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you. We are the frequency we want to receive. Give everyone my love. I'm with you always. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Have a blessed now. I'm very happy here. I love you all.
Oh,
love you back.
blessed now. Like, what?
Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's absolutely incredible.
He still talks to us, and
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
he came to me in a dream last night, and he talked to her guide, and
Wow.
we talked
That
this
is
morning, and
absolutely beautiful.
we're like, he's like really on this, you guys. He's on
Yeah,
this.
he is. Yeah, he is.
He's a fan. Like, what?
Yeah, he's a fan of ours now. Isn't that something? We were always a big fan.
I'm his
of
fan.
him.
I'm still his fan.
Yeah, he's our fan. So
Yeah.
that's an amazing
So cool.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just totally made my whole everything right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was incredible.
too.
Okay,
Thank
so now I'm
Thank you,
probably not
Lori.
completely. I'm so excited.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much.
Gosh, Katrina, it's my pleasure to be of assistance.
He has a private message for you, Crystal, which I can't give you out here, but
okay, yeah,
we'll talk about it. He has a message for you and the rest of you guys. So,
oh my gosh, well, I'll be very attentive to hear what that would be. So, well, you guys, yeah, I will. You guys in chat, Robert V, thank you so much for showing up, Soul Brother, and I think you have a show tomorrow, if I'm correct. Yes, there's a show tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. So make sure you guys tune into his show tomorrow. So let's support each other's channels and support each other's causes. We support our food banks and we support each other's needs. Make sure you stay in tune with into the Andromeda7 portal so you can get information for things and links for services, goods, or even if you just need to talk to somebody. We're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here for you guys.
Especially during the holidays. I know it makes a difference. Makes a big difference when you know folks are hanging out with you.
Yes.
I know co-hosts that actually come on in the middle of the holidays just to make sure everybody's got somewhere to go and somebody to talk to. So
yeah, big time. And even outside of the holidays, any days is a good day for that. You know, but it seems to be really particularly hard, especially if you've lost a loved one or you've gone through a lot of loss through this crazy past couple of years. So
or it's the first Christmas without your loved one. That's a
that's the toughest.
Yeah. So we understand you guys. So, you know, we're here for you guys. We're here to serve you and your needs. Or if you have any questions or concerns, email us at the Andromeda7portal@gmail.com and we will get with you as soon as we possibly can. We thank each and every one of you so much for coming on the show tonight. We really hope you enjoyed it. We have so much more installed for you guys. So we can't wait to have you guys come along. Thank you for coming with us on this ride.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for
you guys are amazing.
Much
well,
gratitude.
guys, that's the end of the show. I have nothing more to say. I love you guys. Stay tuned for the outro.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks, Michelle Thompson.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you all.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, Mandy and Julianne.
Thank you, John Boy. Thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you.
I love you guys so much. It makes me hurt sometimes.
Trina, love you right back, sister.
No.
Love you bigger than the sky.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
Oh, yes, Mom.
No, that's for real. I really do love you guys.
I know you do.
I would lay down my life for any of you in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Same here.
Love.
And all our friends out there in chat land are still hanging in there. We love them too.
Yes.
Thank you, chat room moderator.
I need a cigarette.
Yeah.
David's beautiful work here on the intro.
I love the new music.
They can hear us still, y'all.
I hope so. I'm trying to think.
No, Julianne is not feeling it. So they have to have mirrors. They can. Yeah. When that goes off, they're able to each other.
Oh, like we were before.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. They can hear us.
Can I grab a couple things from my car?
Yeah, sure.
We added Kaz.
Yes, darling,
We
what do you
added
want?
Rex on here, and we added Kaz. So anybody out there who wants to be listed should let us know, either through our email or send us private messages, whatever.
It'll be a week-long show because we'll add everybody to it.
Yeah, you know, this is a standalone video, you know?
Yeah.
So they can just play this video whenever they want to look up names, and I'm also posting it on the Andromeda Facebook page.
I'll change a backdrop every now and again as well.
Good. Good on you, Teresa. Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah, I'm gonna plaster
Thank you,
your names
Julianne
everywhere.
and Mandy. I love you guys. I'm so glad to see you together. Just my heart.
She's coming. She's going to get something from the car and she'll be back.
I love you guys. I'm so glad you're together. Yay.
Yes, Barry Chad. David can edit the
If I can,
credits.
and I do.
Just
I do
tell
pretty
us
much
what
every
you
week.
want, Barry.
Yeah, just drop us an email and we can put it in for you, Barry, whatever you want.
Yeah, we're going to add Mary Wins in there too. Mary has some special attached email. Yeah,
Jennifer Roberts is in there.
Jennifer Roberts is in there. Yep.
Yeah, Barry, she's already in there.
I'm just checking if we're gonna hang out some more washings. Okay, Mom. Yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out some more washing now.
Bye, folks.
Bye, sweet. Bye.
Thank you, Robert.
What was it?